Good morning from State Adventures. Let's hop on and discuss this huge itinerary combining four countries from Peru to Bolivia to Chile and ending in Argentina. There's a lot of details, so let's go through it together. I'm going to share my screen. We're going to see the PDF together and let's dive right into it. As always, this is a private trip, so you can choose any date. Of course, seasons matter, so we can touch on that as we go through each country. But I chose this itinerary to start in October of this year. I put a little Google map here for you so you kind of understand the routing. Routing is so important in South America. It is a vast region, so you don't want to backtrack. And I have built this itinerary in a way where you are never going to backtrack to another location twice. So if you see, we're going to start in Lima, Peru, then continue on to the Cusco Sacred Valley, Machu Picchu region, go down to Lake Titicaca and cross over to La Paz, Bolivia, then go to Uyuni Salt Flats, which are fantastic, and cross those in an adventure all the way to Calama, which is the Atacama Desert. Fly down to Santiago, which is the main city, but it's also the coastline. It's also vineyards. Fly to Easter Island, the most remote island in the world. Come back and go down to Patagonia, which is Torres del Paine National Park, which is the most famous park in Patagonia. Cross the border into Argentina to the village of Calafate to see Perito Moreno Glacier, and head up to Buenos Aires to end the trip there. And of course, I have ideas on what else we can include and things like that because South America has so many treasures. So let's quickly go through the itinerary to understand what's included and how everything will work. You're going to fly into Lima, Peru. As always, State Adventures will pick you up from the hotel, from the airport and take you to the hotel. And I handpicked some hotels. This itinerary is a mix of 4- and 5-star properties. A lot of lodges are included here, and we'll discuss those as well. Iberostar is a great Miraflores location hotel, perfect for exploring, and we're going to be there for 2 nights. So the way we will visit Lima is instead of just a typical tour, we will do a gourmet tour, which is you're walking, you're going to markets, you're tasting things, you're having lunch at the ruins, you're really going to see the sights, but you're going to be tasting your way along the way as well, which is a wonderful way to see the city. And then on every day you have BL, BLD. That stands for the meals that are included in the proposal. Of course, some places have fantastic restaurants, so I don't like to overfill your meals so that you can enjoy some local places as well. After your tour in the evening, Lima has a really wonderful park filled with fountains and waterfalls that are lit up at night. Great place to kind of spend the evening before you head out to dinner. So that is what we will do. We will take you to the park to show you the fountain show and then take you to a reservation that we will make for you, maybe at El Central or Maida or Maita, some really wonderful restaurants here in Lima. And then we're heading down to Sacred Valley. So we're going to take you to the airport, fly to Cusco, and head to Sacred Valley. Why not stay in Cusco? Because Cusco is high altitude, so you want to acclimate slowly. So Sacred Valley is the lowest, and then we're going to go to Machu Picchu, and then we'll go to Cusco, which will be higher altitude. And it really helps your body to plan it out that way. Of course, we're not just going to arrive and go to the hotel. We're going to see some sites that are visually stunning, but that don't require you to do a lot of walking because we're acclimating. So Salineras, Inca Salt Flats, Maras and Morai, which are beautiful Inca laboratories carved into the mountains, and Chinchero, which is a really charming village. Have lunch en route at a farm-to-table restaurant and arrive at your hotel, which is Aranwa. Great lodge, really wonderful location, and a nice place to acclimate and rest and explore Sacred Valley. And then the next day, another 24 hours in the valley, we're going to see Misminay, which is a wonderful community that we sponsor here at State Adventures, very remote in the mountains. You will learn all about the pachamanca, which is the traditional Andean way to cook underground. You can participate in making lunch. And then you'll see Ollantaytambo, which are famous ruins in the Sacred Valley, most famous in the valley. And then October 6th, we're going to take you to the train station. You're going to ride the Glass Dome Vista Dome to Machu Picchu, have a private tour of the ruins, and sleep in the village, which is at the El Mapi Hotel, which is a really wonderful little boutique style hotel in the village. The reason we're staying here in the village is so that we can rise up in the morning and go to the ruins again where there's less people and we can do some hiking. We can hike Huayna Picchu, we can hike Uchuy Picchu, we can hike Machu Picchu Mountain, we can hike to the Sun Gate. There's so many different opportunities here. Or we can do a second circuit of the ruins because there are 6 different routes that you can explore Machu Picchu. So we will take care of all of that for you, have lunch, and then take an evening train to Cusco, which now you're fully acclimated and you can enjoy exploring the city. So we will spend 3 nights in the city. The first day is arrival at the Casa Andina Premium Cusco Hotel, really fun little boutique hotel. Again, great courtyards, great restaurant, a nice bar, centrally located so you can walk everywhere. Second day, we're going to dedicate to showing you the highlights of Cusco, which is the city itself, but also the ruins outside of Cusco, the Coricancha Temple, and so many different things. And then at night, we're going to take you to a museum and have lunch inside Map Cafe, which is inside the museum after it closes, a really wonderful experience. And then I added an extra day here in Cusco for many reasons. One, because we're a week into travel. We have been waking up early in the morning. We've been moving around. So I wanted you to have a day to kind of sleep in and enjoy, and also have another experience in Cusco, which is our cocktail tour or mocktail tour, where you're with a local chef and he takes you around the city on foot, tasting different things, learning how to make the famous pisco sour, and just really feeling like a local running around Cusco. But if you do want to see another site on this day, we can go hiking to Rainbow Mountain, Palcoyo Mountain. We can go to the lagoon. So there's plenty of opportunities here to experience if you don't want a free morning. Or we can remove the day if it's too long of a trip. And then October 10th, we're going to go to the train station and we're going to take a beautiful train ride. It's about a 9-hour train ride to Lake Titicaca, south of the southern part of Peru, on the border of Bolivia. Beautiful experience. It stops one time, you get off, visit a local community that comes out to the train station. And just the train ride itself is so nostalgic, so beautiful. I highly recommend it. If you don't like trains or don't want to experience a 9-hour ride, then we can fly instead, or we can rent a car and do it in about 8 hours. But the train is just so such a Peruvian experience. I highly recommend it. The end of the train is completely open, so you can stand out there with your pisco sour and watch the scenery go by. It is one of my favorite things to do in Peru. And once you arrive on Lake Titicaca, we're going to spend 2 nights there at the GHL Hotel, which is perfectly located on the lake. It has its own port. So when we're exploring the islands, we go right from the hotel. And that is what we will do. People come to Lake Titicaca not only to visit the lake itself, but to visit Uros Floating Islands, which is a community that has been living this way on the islands, making islands off they make their islands, they make the boats, they make the houses out of the reed that grows in the lake. Fascinating community. And then we'll go to Taquile Island as well, which is another completely different community. And they are interesting because the activities that they do there are kind of swapped. The men do all the weaving, and the women are outside doing all the farming. So very interesting again to meet them and learn about their life. And that is our last day in Peru because on October 12th, my team will pick you up and we will do a full day adventure across the lake into Bolivia. So it goes by car, boat, catamaran, and car again, where we're going to visit Sun Island, Moon Island, Copacabana, and finally at the end, finish in La Paz, Bolivia, which is the capital, which is a very interesting city because it's like a bowl. It sits all around. There's a Valley of the Moon, which are beautiful rock formations. So we're going to spend 2 nights there. The first day, arrival, and the second day, we're going to visit the city, visit the Valley of the Moon. I imagine La Paz is what Cusco was maybe 50 years ago before a lot of tourists arrived. People are really shy. They're very traditional. It's not geared towards tourists the way Peru is already. So it's a nice a comparison for you to see La Paz after you have experienced Cusco, but the scenery itself is worth a visit. And then on October 14th, we're going to start our adventure of Uyuni salt flats. So Uyuni salt flats are the largest salt flats in the world. They're in Bolivia, and not only are they filled with salt, but with rock formations and wildlife and colorful lagoons. So we're going to take a 25-minute flight from La Paz to Uyuni, and once you land there, my team of a driver and a guide will meet you with the car or cars to begin this journey, and you're going to be together for the whole time, from the time you arrive to the time that you arrive in Chile at the end of this journey. You're going to have everything included, all your meals, all your accommodations, and all the adventures, because the guides know the salt flats like the back of their hands. They know where to go to see the flooded plains, so you can take these mirror photos. They know where to see the salty, dry plains, so you can take these type of photos. They are photographers, so it's quite a lot of fun. We're going to spend 2 nights in a hotel that's made out of salt, Luna Salada, or there's a few hotels that are made out of salt. And then as we're crossing and as we're doing our adventures and visiting all the different sites, we're also going to spend a night in Machu Cueva, which is a hotel dug right into a mountain. So it's a cave hotel. So really interesting properties. These are 3-star properties, but you are going here for the experience. You are going here for just this really unique place in the world. So although you're spending the least amount of days on your trip in Bolivia, you will definitely have some of the most memorable moments here, because crossing the Uyuni salt flats was one of my favorite things to do in South America. And then on October 17th, after 3 nights of being out in the Uyuni salt flats, you're going to arrive to the border and arrive in Atacama. Atacama Desert is like a place on the moon. It's completely filled with amazing scenery, more rock formations, more deserts, animals that you have not seen anywhere else. And here you can really spoil yourself. So the idea is that we roughed it in Bolivia, and now we arrive in Chile, which is home to high-end properties, home to really luxury experiences. And we're going to do that in Atacama with Tierra Atacama. This is a lodge that operates with their own guides, their own cars, fantastic gourmet meals, top shelf wine. Chile is home to some of the best wine in South America. And you will spend 3 nights there really exploring Atacama, really diving deep, because their guides are some of the best. The way it works is that we'll pick you up from the border, take you to Tierra Atacama. You'll spend 3 nights there and have everything included. So I listed on the itinerary some activities. Every day you can pick one full day tour, and you have lunch out in the field somewhere, maybe a picnic in the desert or eating at a local ranch. Or you can do 2 half-day tours and you come back for lunch to the lodge. So some of the activities are 4x4 excursions, hiking, biking, horseback riding. You can go to the lagoons, you can go to the hot springs, you can go to the geysers. You can choose anything you want. Every day there's probably 10 or more activities and options for you to choose from, and they're all included. So that's why you need 3 nights, so you have 2 full days to explore Atacama Desert. And then on October 20th, we're going to fly to Santiago and see a little bit of the city. It's a very modern city, really well located, because it's a little hub where you can reach the coast, reach the vineyards, but really be in the center of Santiago culture as well. So we'll do a little tour of Santiago itself, spend 2 nights at a really nice boutique hotel called the Singular, and then have a full day to explore that coastline, the Valparaiso town, which is a very colorful history of pirates and trading. And then, of course, spend the afternoon in the vineyards, have a beautiful lunch there, do some tastings before we leave Santiago and fly to Easter Island. So Chile is home to some real treasures in South America. It's a very long, thin country. On top, it's Atacama Desert. In the middle is Santiago and the vineyards. Then on the ocean is Easter Island. And then in the bottom, of the country is Patagonia, which is split into two whole regions of Patagonia. So there's plenty to see and do in Chile, and they offer some amazing experiences. So on Easter Island, we're going to be there for 4 nights. The reason for that is the flight to Easter Island is 6 hours long, so you don't want to shorten your trip and feel like you're just traveling back and forth. So with 4 nights, you really will be able to explore the whole island. There are two different ways to enjoy Easter Island. One is Nayara Hangaroa Lodge, the way I included here. And there's a few lodges like this on the island, and that they include everything, all of your meals, all of your excursions, your transportation, amazing guides, experiences. They do shows at night, and not just touristy shows. This is a cultural experience where the locals perform their Polynesian style dances and teach you all about the history of Easter Island. Even though it is most similar to Polynesia, it is its own culture and quite fascinating history. You will notice there's very few trees on the islands. There's talk of cannibalism on the island and the history. So you will be able to experience all of that with the guides and learn all about it. So Nayara is one of the lodges that includes everything. And you can choose every day things that you want to do. What can we do? We can get in the water. We can go hiking, horseback riding, riding bikes all around the island. We can do sunrise experiences, sunset experiences. They have a list every day of things that you can choose to do, and everything is included. So it's a really fully comprehensive package. Now, if you want, what I can do is do a hotel only and then hire my own guides and to take you to specific places that we will handpick for you. And then you can also do meals on your own in the village. There's a few restaurants there. So there's two different ways to do Easter Island. We can do this all-inclusive package where you don't have to think about it, and you can just pick the excursions that you want to do, and you can choose amazing meals every night at the hotel. Or you want some more casual experience, then we can do hotel only, have our guide show you around, and then do meals on your own, which will also affect the price because it would be less expensive, but you would have out-of-pocket experiences, expenses like meals. So we can discuss that closer. But I love the full inclusive experiences here because they offer so much more than just meals and activities. October 26th, after 4 nights on Easter Island, we're going to fly to Santiago. We're going to get there really late in the evening and just stay at the airport hotel, which is right in the terminal, so that we can rest before we travel to Patagonia the next day. So next day, we're flying down to Puerto Natales, which is in the southern part of Chile. And now we're entering Patagonia. So in Patagonia, the most famous park is called Torres del Paine National Park. And here, there is no village, there is no town, there is nothing that you can do, just stay in a hotel and kind of figure things out on your own. You have to stay in a lodge. And one of the lodges that I love because it's very unique is Patagonia Camp. It's very unique because it's yurts. It's like Scandinavian style yurts that are scattered all over the lake in the park, so you can do all the excursions with them. Same style as you see, there's a pattern here in Chile because Chile is known for these lodges and they have perfected it. When I say all-inclusive, and I don't even like using that term, people think of all-inclusive resorts maybe on the beach somewhere or in the Caribbean. This is not like that. This is a camp that has top guides, top transportation, historic knowledge. They have cultural knowledge. They have gourmet chefs. They have top-notch wines and drinks, and really full experiences, not something like a buffet. That's not what Chile is all about. It's all about making you in kind of immerse yourself in the location that you're in. So when you wake up in Patagonia Camp, you definitely know you're in Torres del Paine National Park. And so again, here you will be able to include all your meals and all the excursions, tons of hiking, tons of amazing sights to see all around the park. Every day you sit down with a guide and discuss what to do the next day. Some is by on foot, some is by 4x4, some is by bicycle if you want. You can kayak if you want. And of course, you don't have to kayak or bike if you don't want to. Everything can be done by car if you want a more leisurely experience. But there is something for everyone at Patagonia Camp. Very exciting trip. And then October 30th, we are leaving Chile behind and we will cross over the border about 5 hour ride, 5 to 6 hour ride to Calafate in Argentina, which is the Patagonia section of Argentina. So Patagonia is a vast region that splits between the two countries. The difference between Torres del Paine in Chile and Calafate in Argentina is that Calafate is a bustling little town. It kind of reminds me of somewhere in Colorado or maybe the Swiss Alps, like a charming little village. And why do people come to Calafate? To come to see Perito Moreno Glacier, which is the most famous glacier in the world. And I'll touch on that in a second. After we cross over to the border, we're going to take you to the hotel, have you freshen up, and then take you out to dinner. This is like an excursion. And most of the services on my itinerary are done privately, except in the lodges that include all of the excursions. They do them in small groups. But here, the 4x4 excursion and the dinner inside a cave is also done by our shared activities, like shared truck that will take you there. So you go, you do this fun Calafate balcony tour by 4x4, and then inside those cliffs are caves, and we set up a dinner in there. And you're staying at Zelena Hotel, which is a great little boutique hotel on the glacial lake. And then the main reason why we're here is to see Perito Moreno. This is the only glacier in Patagonia that is growing instead of shrinking. So it is famous. And the way we do the tour is you'll hike around the catwalks, you'll ride a boat to the face of the glacier. But if you are active and want something more, we can actually do a crampon on your shoes and a hike on the ice. So you let me know. It is way more strenuous and not for everyone. So let me know if that sounds like something you would like to do in Perito Moreno, once in a lifetime opportunity to walk on a growing glacier. And then day 31, we have been traveling for a whole month now. We will take you to the airport and fly you to Buenos Aires, because Buenos Aires is the international airport and you're most likely to fly home from there. So I've added one night here for a reason. I want you to experience a tango show, which is Rojo Tango, which is the best tango show year after year in Buenos Aires, staying at the Faena, a very quirky, fun hotel, very modern, just for one night. That is where the Rojo Tango show is located in, so it makes sense to stay there. And then the next day, your flight home will most likely be in the evening. So I have a guide that will take you to all the highlights, all the beautiful spots all over Buenos Aires, have a traditional bodegon lunch here, which is like an old home changed into a restaurant. So like the chairs won't match and there'll be family photos on the wall, and you'll have a traditional meal like a steak and all kinds of different goodies that Argentina is known for before we take you to the airport in the evening and fly home. So that is our 32-day trip across Peru, Bolivia, Chile, Argentina. It is a wonderful way to combine the four countries. There is a lot here. There's a lot to process. There's a lot to visit. Let me know what sounds good, what needs tweaking. Of course, we can make any changes. Now, if you have more time or if you have other things on your mind to add, from Buenos Aires, we can easily fly to Iguazu Falls, which is amazing waterfalls. It's on the border of Brazil, and we can continue to Rio de Janeiro and fly home from there. Or if you have more time, we can even add the Amazon jungle and do a real trip to South America with some jungle thrown in as well. So I look forward to your thoughts. Thank you so much for listening, and happy travels.